Hello everyone and welcome to the Aries Moon Girl channel. This is another happiness reading for one of the subscribers of this channel. Monique, this is your happiness reading. I'm very sorry that it comes later. I just didn't get around to do some of the free readings, also due to traveling and to some other plans, but now I am finally doing your reading, and I cannot believe that I almost missed out on it, because looking at your chart, Monique, there is definitely a lot of mystery and a lot of power in this chart. Before I go into this, I'm going to just say briefly what I look at when I talk about happiness. First of all, I'm looking at the moon, because the moon is our subconscious mind, is where we come from, is what we learned in the first years of our lives, is our genetical inheritance. So it's the way we are acting automatically, what we saved on our subconscious mind, and it represents all our instinctual reactions. And I believe that in our daily life we act probably 70-80% from our subconscious mind, and only 20-30% from our conscious mind, which is more represented by the sun. So in order to understand what makes you happy, you need to understand why you're doing what you're doing, and what your default mode is, what your happiness default mode is as well, because where we feel comfortable, we also feel happy. The other aspect I'm looking at is Venus, and Venus is, as you probably know, Venus is pleasure in the horoscope. Venus is everything that we attract to us. Venus is values, what we value, what we praise, what we consider of worthy for us, and Venus will give you an insight into what you can get into your life, and what will bring you conscious pleasure in this case, what will make you really enjoy life, and also in a relationship, what would make you enjoy a relationship, but not only, what would make you just enjoy life at its core. And the third aspect I'm looking at is the North Node, and the North Node shows our path in life, shows where we're headed towards. The South Node is our past karma, and the North Node is our journey for this lifetime, the direction we're aiming towards, the lesson that we need to learn. And usually we act very much from our South Node, but especially in the younger years of our lives, but then we find that this doesn't bring us satisfaction anymore, this doesn't bring us fulfillment, and then we're headed towards the North Node and discovering what joys we can get from that side of life. And ultimately the North Node gives you sustainable satisfaction, because the South Node gives you something that you crave less and less of, and the North Node gives you something that you are hungry for. And although it doesn't come so easy for you as the South Node, in the end that's what's making you happy for the long run. Okay, so starting with this, I'm going to go into your moon sign. So you are a Pisces like me, but your rising and your moon sign are in Scorpio. And even more, you have your moon conjunct Pluto, and you have a bunch of aspects to the moon as well. So you have it opposition with Mars and Jupiter, and a square to Mercury, and yeah, the conjunction with Pluto. These are the most important aspects. What can I say about this moon? So first of all, I'm going to just start with what's the obvious interpretation for any horoscope. Your subconscious mind is loaded with a bunch of hidden, can I call it painful? I might call it painful, although I don't like this word, but throughout your childhood, because the moon is the childhood, you accumulated a bunch of experiences that are not so comfortable, that are hard on your psychic, that are hard on your heart, that are hard for a child to carry. And because it's the moon, it might be very connected to the mother, and because it has opposition Mars and conjunction with Pluto, it might have to do also with, I don't want to call it aggression, but control. And so it's a very, very intensive moon. Your subconscious mind has been through a lot. You carry a lot within you. Even because I know how we Pisces are, you probably are a sweetheart on the outside, and the sun is in the third house, so you can be probably very talkative and very very likable. Although that Scorpio placement there, the 12th house and the moon, indicates that you're definitely on the inside, you're very, very deep. You're not on the light side of life. You're on the deep side of life, on going to the core of things, of understanding things, of on feeling at the level where most people don't even dare to go. But because it's in the 12th house, because Pisces is a bit of an escapist sun, you could probably also lock this area out for yourself as well. So there is a possibility that you lock these feelings in and you're not showing them anymore, or you're daydreaming, or you're keeping those feelings away from yourself. Now going into what the benefits of this placement are and what's going on here. Most of the people that have asked readings for me have a strong 12th house, Pisces, Scorpio, 8th house placement. So most of the people that are concerned with astrology seem to have this placement, with a few exceptions of Aquarian nature. But Scorpio, Pisces placements are the highest intuitive placements, are the placements where people look deep within themselves to understand their psychic, look deep into the meaning of life, can sense so much, can sense that there's a lot more than what's communicated on the outside, can sense that there's so much in. So with this 12th house placement, the moon in the 12th house, but in Scorpio and with Pluto there, and opposition Mars, which is again very Scorpionic, but at the same time Jupiter, you crave emotional connection at the deepest level. This type of placement needs to have a bit of control as well, because it's still Scorpio and it's still Pluto and with Mars there. So on the one hand, you feel so much, you feel enormously, so you feel things extremely strongly, but then on the other hand, you need to control it. You need to keep it to yourself. You need to show the world, I'm sane. This is how I'm going to deal with it. But in order for you to be happy, I believe you need a deep level of intimacy. You need a person close to you. So I would suggest, for example, a very intense love. Someone where you can exchange souls almost, where, like Scorpio is physical, and that's why they think of Scorpio with sex, but Scorpio is actually the sign that goes most into intimacy, so into an intimate connection. So that connection becomes so intimate that it's compared to death. So going so deep in that connection with a person, that's really important for you. So I believe that there are aspects that might show that you might keep things for yourself, but I believe that the most joy can come from you having that deep, deep connection. But because it's the 12th house, you also get joy in understanding the human psychic, and Scorpio again goes deep into the psychic of others. So you can use whatever you've been through to help others understand themselves. You can use this superpower of sensing, of extreme intuition, of extreme abnormal sensing, to help others understand themselves and understand what's at the core of themselves. And the 12th house also is a sign that you need to kind of disconnect still at some point from others' expectations and from others wanting from you. The 12th house means also a bit of time for yourself, a bit of time of not isolation but recharging your batteries. If I would have this placement, I also have a lot of 12th house. Meditation is absolutely good for you. Being somewhere in nature, being in a location, 12th house and Pisces is, and moon there, is being in a location that's only yours and where you transform it into a fantasy beautiful thing. So you need that time to recharge, but while recharging and while looking after yourself, you also need to impact other people's lives. This type of placement doesn't come accidentally into someone's life. It's not a punishment. It's just a tool for someone to feel so deep so that they can help others through this feeling. And then I'm going to go into the other aspect that gives you a superpower here and gives you deep happiness, and that is Venus. So Venus, I told you that things don't happen accidentally, and you feel so much, and you feel so deep and intense, and you can see through people. But Venus in Pisces in the 3rd with the Sun and the North Node, so North Node and Venus with the Sun there, your life mission has to do with the 3rd house, so has to do with communication, has to do with teaching, has to do with impacting your environment, your direct environment, maybe group of people locally, but also impacting through your words, your written word, your speech, impacting through social media, impacting in a Gemini way of effective, fun, entertaining communication. But because it's in Pisces, is again this esoteric, beautiful, artsy type of communication. So with Venus there and the North Node and Sun, for example, you can write poetry, you can write beautiful poetry, maybe even song lyrics. You can express yourself wonderfully. So you can have the best best type of dreamy type of speech. The Pisces speech is not such a it's not such a clear one. Oh, let me see. Is this Venus? Is this Venus in your case? It's in Aquarius. Okay, so Venus is still in Aquarius, but it's conjunct a North Node and Sun in Pisces. So with Venus in Aquarius in the 3rd house, even more, you need to impact larger group of people. You need to impact networks of people. You need, through your speech, you need to make a difference. So you get so much from your moon, and you get to express it through this speech. So what makes you happy here is intellectual exchange. What makes you happy here is being able to talk about abstract things, because Aquarius is abstract, to talk about the world, God, aliens, everything that has to do with supernatural, everything that has to do with what's not so mundane and boring, but what's a bit out of this world. So, but making an impact with your communication. And again, these planets are making aspects again to the Moon and Pluto, and to Mars and Jupiter. So everything is very tied in. You have a very forceful speech as well, where you can draw upon your moon deepness, and the fact that it's conjunct these two other placements, so North Node and Sun in Pisces. You have this aura. Pisces has an aura of mystery, of unicorn-like beauty, and because Venus is conjunct these two planets with Pisces, your speech is also like mesmerizing to other people. So you are definitely meant to communicate out. You're meant to talk about these ideas. You're meant to talk out of this world and put a spell on people and make them understand themselves. So I didn't talk so much about happiness as I talked about your mission in life, but I see it as very important, and I think this is what will bring you happiness as well. So definitely looking deep into people, having a very deep soul connection, having time for yourself, isolated but always helping. 12th house is helping. Scorpio also likes to help, and then the Pisces placements, the North Node is conjunct your Sun, so it's very easy. Your life path is supported by the Sun in this life, so you are supported by the Sun, so it's easy for you to get into this communication field. But definitely, whatever talent you have in the area of communication, in the area of helping others, in the area of communicating with large group of people, that is going to bring you also joy, because it's Venus there. And where you're coming from in this case is you're coming from the ninth house in Virgo, almost close to the ninth house in this case, in Virgo. So you probably had a way more pragmatic approach to life. You believed in what your environment believed in, and you find it very, in the first part of your life, you probably want to talk about philosophy and things like that, but only tangible ones that your environment believes in. But the truth comes actually from what cannot be explained, from what you feel inside yourself, from what you feel in your core being, in that extreme intuition that you have. And it's not so much coming from pragmatical things outside, or theories or religions, or it's coming from intuition, from pure intuition, and from pure given gift and interpretation, and psychic. Also Aquarius is psychic, so Venus there is also psychic. Your Mercury is also there in Aquarius, so you talk about things where you just receive them like a radio. You tune into them and can talk about them to the world, but they come from a very deep place, from your moon. This is my analysis for you. I hope this helps also to understand what makes you happy. I think you probably feel these things. You're very young still, but you probably feel that you're on this path, and I wanted to tell you, like, it's absolutely okay, and it all makes sense. And that intensity that you're feeling on the inside, that's going to be the catalyzer for your speech to the world, and what you will have to communicate and share with the world. So that's a great thing. And yeah, it's a beautiful, strong horoscope of someone that you could also do astrology, you could do psychology, you could do any type of I don't like the word esoteric, but any type of hidden psychology knowledge, or tapping into what's not so concrete and boring and what's not visible to the normal eye. And this is what will bring you happiness as well, because you're helping others with it. Thank you so much. Until next time, I'm Mary's Moon Girl. I care about the stars, but most of all, I care about you, and this is why I did this video. And I still have 2 more readings to do. Until next time, take care, and thank you so much, Monique. Thank you for watching my channel, and again, apologies for having the video a bit later. Bye bye.